Good afternoon. The date is Thursday, June 6, 2024. The time is 1:38 p.m. It's another beautiful day here in Paradise, and I'm very happy to call to order the regularly scheduled June 2024 meeting of the City of West Palm Beach Zoning Board of Appeals. I will first start off with our board secretary calling the roll.
Alfred Fields.
Present.
Christopher Hagan.
Here.
Michael Hyman. Here. Dana Pacat. Here. Let the record reflect that Matthew Chambers, Christopher Kammerer, and Jonathan Burgess are absent.
Okay. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I'll discuss quorum. Please be seated. Okay. As noted when we called called the attendance, there are 4 members present. For this board, there are 4 affirmative votes that are required in order for an approval of a matter that comes before us. So for all the items on the agenda, it would require a unanimous vote from all 4 of the members here present. So I will let the applicant be aware of that, and if that does change their mind as opposed to being heard here today, they can let us know. I also did want to note that for item C2, which is case 3440, I'll be recusing myself, which would leave us with only 3 members up here unless somebody else joins. Yes, Angela.
Angela Van, Planning and Zoning Administrator. No, Mr. Chambers is not showing up. So I ask that the board continue case number 3440 to next month so that we don't have to re-advertise or do mailers again.
Okay. And do we, I don't think we require a motion on that. That's,
yes.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to continue case number 3440.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Okay. The motion was made by Board Member Hyman and seconded by Board Member Fields. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Okay. The motion carries. So item 3440, item C2, case number 3440, is continued to the next meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Then let me, so we can get into there are a couple of other items on the agenda to get to before we get to any of those items, but we can take a motion, or we can, if an applicant from either of the other items wishes to continue, we can hear that at this time.
Hi, Heather Danforth with Integrated Perspectives. We would like to continue case ZBA 3438 and as well as ZBA case 3439.
Okay. We'll take separate motions on those items. So the applicant for representing ZBA case number 3438 and 3439 has requested a continuance to the next regularly scheduled ZBA meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Sorry.
Can I speak to that?
Yes, we'll entertain it.
Continuance is fine, but unfortunately, I, who represent the neighbor, will not be here for the July meeting, so I wonder if you mind going to the August meeting.
No, the next regularly scheduled is fine.
Okay. So the applicant has requested, so we'll take a motion. If it fails, then we'll consider something else, but I'll accept whatever motion is placed on the floor. Note that the applicant has requested to go to July, and then council representing a affected party has requested to go to August. So I'll entertain a motion first on case number 3438.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we postpone case of, I'm sorry, I'm off page, 3438 until August. Is that correct, Skip? Yes. Until August. I'd move that for you.
And let me clarify, your request was related to case 3438, not 3439, correct? Mr. Randolph?
Yes.
Okay.
That
They're waiting for CO for this project.
I'm sorry?
They're waiting for CO for this project.
Okay. So a motion has been made to continue that case number 3438 to August. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion before we take a vote?
Discussion. Just so that, since we're continuing this, and I just want to hear and make sure that both parties have an opportunity to voice whether they're in favor of the continuance, as well as if one is not and the date is not good, since it is a continuance, we can hear from one party as to what they want to read into the record or say, so it can be considered.
Any other discussion? I'll just add as discussion, I think we did receive written communication from the opposing party that laid out the objections. I think in any case that comes before us, that, the applicant is the one who, has brought the matter to us, and, I know that it is important for us to hear from affected parties, but at the same time, I tend to give the heaviest weight to the applicant themselves, just because especially when there are other forms with which to provide us with that information. And again, I think we did receive detailed written communication related to the objection, and perhaps there are others who could, if it's felt that it's necessary for someone to be here in person, that others could represent in the opposing person's stead to verbally bring those. But again, we do have we do provide several means, and we have had many cases in the past where opposing parties have, rather than coming here in person, have brought us either letters or emails, or we've heard voicemails, et cetera. There are a number of different ways that we can hear those. So, just for my purposes in the vote, I would support the continuance to the next meeting, July. But there's a motion and a second. So we'll ask the board secretary to please call the roll on the motion.
Alfred Fields,
No.
Christopher Hagan,
No.
Michael Hyman,
No.
Dana Pacat.
No.
Okay. We'll take a substitute motion.
I move that we proceed to hear the case, and at that point determine whether we want to continue it.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, for discussion. Any discussion on the motion? My discussion on it would be that both parties, I think, support a continuance. So to me, that wasn't, that because there seems to be, I think, agreement on that matter, I would support a continuance. I was just, felt that it seemed like a month was appropriate, because really the reason we're not hearing it today is just simply lack of quorum.
Mr. Chair, may I inquire, what is the motion to do?
So the motion that was on the floor that was seconded was to hear the case and then decide once, or I guess to have the presentations made, was my understanding at least, to go through the full presentation and any public comment, and then decide whether or not to take the vote at the end of that.
It's my understanding, Mr. Chair, that you had given the applicant the option for continuing, since a unanimous vote would have been required. And if I'm understanding, the applicant chose to accept that option?
Yes, yes.
So that the question would be whether it's continued to July or August, as I'm understanding it.
Yeah, the motion for August was the first motion that was made, and that failed, so I asked for a substitute motion.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yeah.
I was just going to get up, Rick Green, Development Services Director. I was just going to reiterate what Mr. Thomas just said, that given the fact that we don't have a quorum, it's really the applicant's ability to continue the meeting and not be forced to be heard, because they would be forced then to receive a 4-0 vote. So the question really is, do they get continued to July or August? The August motion was denied, so I would suspect that the other option would be, do you want to continue to July? But I don't think we can force the applicant without a quorum to move forward against their wish.
Yep. So I'll ask the maker of the motion if he wishes to move forward with the motion or rescind it.
Rescind motion.
Okay. So we'll take another substitute motion.
I'll make a motion. I make the motion that we postpone case 3438 to July.
Okay, is there a second?
July or August?
July, the next scheduled meeting.
August was just denied, as I understand the first vote.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. It's been moved by Board Member Picott and seconded by Board Member Hyman. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, with no discussion, I'll ask our Board Secretary to please call the roll.
Alfred Fields,
Yes.
Christopher Hagan,
Yes.
Michael Hyman,
Yes.
Dana Pacat.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes 4-0. So ZBA case number 3438 will be postponed to the July meeting. Next, the applicant or the agent for Zoning Board of Appeals, case number 3439, has requested a continuance of that case as well. So I'll entertain a motion on that item.
I move that we continue case number 3439 to the next scheduled meeting in July.
In July. Okay, the motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the motion is made by Board Member Fields and seconded by Board Member Picott. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, seeing no discussion, we'll ask our Board Secretary to please call the roll.
Alfred Fields,
Yes.
Christopher Hagan,
Yes.
Michael Hyman,
Yes.
Dana Pacat.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes 4-0. Case number 3439 is continued to the July Zoning Board of Appeals meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So we will have a relatively short remainder of the meeting. Next item on our agenda normally would be approval of the minutes. We were transitioning board secretaries, so there were no minutes from the May meeting for us to consider, and those will be in the next packet for us to look at prior to the next hearing. So we'll move on to item number 3, a report from Planning Division staff.
Angela Van, Planning and Zone Administrator. Staff has no report. We just need to confirm when the July meeting is. It's not on that Thursday, because that's the 4th.
Yeah.
And I think the following week is PPRC. So we would send an email out letting you guys know when the July meeting is. So I don't think it's the first 2 weeks. So we just have to see when the meeting is, when we scheduled it for.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we will figure out, it may be close to August anyway, but we will figure out the schedule.
So glad we know what we're doing.
Right. We will figure out the schedule for the next, for the meeting in July, which these continued cases will be heard. Then there is no ex parte communication for us to declare, as all the items that were on the agenda have been continued. There is no public hearing or swearing in of the speakers. No unfinished business, new business. Under other business, I was going to give the floor to Board Member Hyman if he would like the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wanted to take an opportunity to let you all know that I'll be stepping down from the board. It's with some things that have gone on in our lives over the past year and whatnot, it's really necessary to do that. It's been an honor to serve with all of you. I appreciate your service to the city. I appreciate the mayor's appointment for me to the board. And I think we've done good work, tried to do good work, even when sometimes not practical. But please keep up the fine work that's going on. And I would hope to see you perhaps on some petition that we're worried about on Flagler Drive, perhaps, but I don't expect it to be the ones that's on the agenda right now, so it'll be a while before I'm back. But thank you all for allowing me to play in your sandbox with you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Board Member Hyman. We've certainly benefited from your years here on the board, and I've appreciated being alongside you as we've decided many of the matters that have come before us, and wish you the best of luck. Enjoy your first Thursday of the month, afternoons being free moving forward. And again, best wishes and thanks for everything that you've done in your service here on the board. The only other item I'd mention is that Taz is back as our board secretary, so welcoming her back. Appreciate you being here to work with us and keep us in line. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll let you do this one.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So at 1:54 p.m., I hereby call the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting concluded for this month.